Our Muslim friends always will tell you that the Bible is full of contradictions. The Quran is a perfectly preserved book. Okay, I'm working on my PhD on something related to the Quran, and I laugh every hour when I'm writing things because there is so many things. If my Muslim friends will know about the Quran and its history and its preservation and its transmission and its collection, I don't think they'll stay following that book at all. But anyway, is it true that the Quran is free from contradictions, Sam? I mean, you and I know, but I mean, for the sake of those who are watching.
Yeah, well, the reason why Muslims bring up this challenge is because the Quran gives the criterion. The Quran gives a test to prove that the Quran is not from God. The Quran gives you a criterion. Now, it gives you multiple criteria, but one criterion in particular. A part of the criteria is to show contradictions in the Quran. So let me read the verse, because ironically, that verse in itself proves the Quran is a lie from the pit of hell. What do I mean? Here, chapter 4, verse 82. Hilali Khan, chapter 4, verse 82. So the Quran has criteria. One criterion is find many contradictions in the Quran and you prove the Quran is a fraud. Chapter 4, verse 82. So let's read it. Chapter 4, verse 82. Do they not then consider the Quran carefully? So you're being challenged. Ponder over the Quran, meditate over it carefully. Had it been from other than Allah, they would surely have found therein much contradiction. See, that's the test. If this had been produced by someone other than Allah, you'll find many contradictions, much contradictions. This in itself is a contradiction, shows that the Quran is basically stupid. And the author of the Quran didn't know logic and didn't know what he's talking about. What do I mean? All right. Notice it said, if this Quran had been from other than Allah, it would have much contradictions. So are you saying that the Quran is only falsified if it has much contradictions? But if you find one contradiction or two contradictions or a few contradictions, that still doesn't mean it's from Allah? Because Allah can make a few errors, but he can't make many errors. You see the formulation, how stupid that is? In other words, the Quran is saying, yeah, Allah can be expected to make a mistake, contradict himself here and there. So a few contradictions doesn't mean it's not from Allah. But if you find much or many, then it's not from Allah. So Allah can make a few contradictions, but he can't make much. See the logic? That's number one. The second problem with the statement. Notice how it's formulated. Had it been other than from Allah, you would find much contradiction. Assumption. If a book is not from Allah, it will have many contradictions. Implication. Only Allah can produce a book free of contradictions. So if a book is not from Allah, expect many contradictions. Assumption, implication, only Allah can produce books that have no contradictions. That means any book that has no contradictions can only be from Allah. So your math book, because it has no contradictions, that's because it's from Allah, because had it been from other than Allah, it would have much error. Any historical book that you read that has no errors, that's from Allah, because if that historical book had not been from Allah, it would have many mistakes. You see how silly and ridiculous this argument is?
It is indeed. I mean, because even in the Arabic could have used a different phrase to state that the Quran has no contradiction, but it's using a phrase to indicate there are contradictions, but it's not much.
Yeah, now we may have a customer. Kali, stop barking like Muhammad. Here's my Skype. Call me and we'll take you on. So now that shows you how stupid the Quran is. Even the formulation proves that this cannot be from God because it's incoherent. It's unintelligible. It's itself contradictory. Call me, Tully, so I can make your rabbis cry from the pit of hell. Don't speak in the comments section. Please don't do that. Call me because I'm going to use your Tanakh if you're a blind follower of Rabbinic Judaism against you. Now, with that said, brother, I can give some specific examples of contradictions. Do you want me to give you specific examples?
Oh, of course. We want to help our Muslims.
Let's just start with the creation account. The creation account. Let me just line it up. And if I were to go to the Muslim commentaries, it'd be even worse. But we're going to limit ourselves to the Quran itself. Because the Quran says that this is a book that fully explains everything in detail. Provides an explanation of everything. and it details even its verses, and it's in clear Arabic so that people can understand. But we'll ignore that for a second. Let's just talk about the contradictory creation accounts. Here it goes. And I'm reading Hilali Khan. He it is who created for you all that is on the earth. Then he istawa towards the heaven and made them 7 heavens, and he's the all-knower of everything. So here it says, Allah created everything on earth. Then, thumma, then, sequentially, he rose towards the heaven and made them 7 heavens. Now, how many days did it take him to turn them into 7 heavens? Here it is, chapter 7, verse 54. I'm going to read Hilali Khan, but also compare it to Piqta. Indeed, your Lord is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then he istawa, rose over the throne, really in a manner that suits his majesty. He brings the night as a cover over the day, seeking it rapidly. And he created the sun, the moon, and the stars, subjected to his command. Surely his is the creation and commandment. Blessed be Allah, the Lord of the worlds, all beings, Rabbul Alameen. Okay? Mankind, jinns, and all that exists. So now notice, Allah created everything on the earth. Then he turned towards the heavens, made it into 7 heavens in 6 days. But now we got a problem. Chapter 41, verses 9 to 12. Chapter 41, verses 9 to 12. Say, O Muhammad, do you verily disbelieve in him who created the earth in 2 days? Guys, pay attention. He created the earth in 2 days, and you set up rivals and worship with him. That is the Lord of the Alameen, Rabbul Alameen, mankind, jinns, and all that exists. He placed therein, i.e. the earth, firm mountains from above it, and he blessed it and measured therein its sustenance, all the provisions of the earth, for its dwellers in 4 days equal. All these 4 days were equal in the length of time for all those who ask about its creation. So notice, 2 days to create the earth, 4 days to create its nourishment and sustenance, and to place mountains as firm anchors to keep the earth stable. So 2 and 4, that's 6. But now here is where we have a problem. Okay? Verses 11 to 12. Then he turned, istawa, rose over towards the heaven when it was smoke. Now guys, pay attention. At this stage, after the earth was created and all its nourishments and provisions, in total 6 days, the heaven was still smoke. The heaven was still smoke. So when he turned to heavens when it's smoke, and set to it and the earth. So notice, the heaven is smoke and the earth is already existing. So he speaks to the smoke and the earth and says, come both of you willingly or unwillingly. They both said, we come willingly. Then he completed and finished from their creation 7 heavens in 2 days. And he made in each heaven its affair. And we adorned the nearest, lowest heaven with lamps, stars, to be an adornment as well as to guard from the devils by using them as missiles against the devils. Such is the decree of him, the Almighty, the All-Knower. So notice, when the earth was created and all its nourishments and the mountains placed on the earth as firm anchors in a total of 6 days, the heaven was still smoke when the earth was existing. Then he took that smoke, made it into 7 heavens after the earth was already created. So here we have 6 days to create the earth, its nourishments, and 2 days to take the smoke of the heaven and turn it into 7 heavens. Last time I checked, 2 plus 4 plus 2 is 8. 2 and 4 is 6. And then 2 days to create that smoke into 7 heavens. That's 8 days. But in 754, where we're told the earth and then the heaven was created into 7 heavens in 6 days. So was it 6 days or 8 days? But now it's even worse than that, guys. Wait, it's even worse than that. Remember here in 41:9 to 12, the earth was created, its nourishments was created, such as mountains and pasture, and the mountains were placed as firm anchors before the heaven was created, because heaven was still smoke. But now we go to 79 of the Quran, 27 to 33. 79 of the Quran, 27 to 33. Watch here. He raised its heights. Start at 27. Are you more difficult to create, or is the heaven that he constructed? He raised its height, the heaven, and he has equally ordered it. It's night, he covers with darkness, and it's forenoon, he brings out with light. And after that, Bada, after he lifted up to heaven, created it, after that, he spread the earth and brought forth therefrom its water and its pasture, and the mountains he has fixed firmly to be a provision and benefit for you and your cattle. Now the sequence is reversed. The heaven was lifted up and created. Then afterwards, he took the earth, created its nourishment and its mountains and water. So now, which came first? Did the earth's nourishments, provisions such as water and mountains, were they created after the heaven was constructed or before the heaven was constructed, when the heaven was still smoke? And how many days? Was it 6 days or 8 days? That's one of many contradictions, brother. So let me know.
Yeah. Holy smoke, man. That's all I can say.
Totally. Pun intended. Holy smoke.